Hello everyone and welcome to this Labs tutorial. In this video we are going to add collisions between the bullets and the asteroids and the player inside of our asteroids clone. So let's go to the asteroid, and the asteroid does not have a script on it right now, so let's add a component, a new script, and let's name it Asteroid. Now this asteroid script we can open up in any choice of coding editor. I'm going to open it up in Microsoft Visual Studio. And once it has opened up, inside of your coding editor, there are a few different things that we're going to do. First, we are going to delete the start and update methods. Then create an onCollisionEnterToD method, and then check the if the collision.gameObject.tag is equal to the tag of the bullet. So I'm just going to put bullet. And then what we're going to do is just do something there. And then I'm going to do another check. So I'm going to check if collision.gameObject.tag is equal to player. So if the tag is the player, then I'm going to decrease the player health. So right now we don't have anything that can do anything with the player health. So I'm just going to do a debug.log, and I'm going to say decrease player health. And we will focus on that on a later video when we add game over and restarting the game so we can have player health. Right now, we're going to have the bullet. And what we want to do is check the size of the asteroid. In asteroids, the size of the asteroids are random each different time we start. So inside of the start method, I'm going to set our asteroid size to a size between a minimum and a maximum. So I'm going to do transform.localScale is equal to a vector3.1 times our, we can do a random dot range between min size and max size. Those will be two variables that we have to create up at the top. So let's create a public float min size and max size. You can see here just adding a comment in between these two, which means that both of these variables have the public float with the public float attributes, and I'm just putting it on one line to save some space. Now this scale is, now it should be a random scale. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if our transform.localScale is, or .x is greater than 1. So if our asteroid is greater than 1, what we're going to do is we're going to destroy this game object. We are also going to destroy the collision.gameObject, so we're going to destroy the bullet, and then we're going to create two mini asteroids with half of this, the half of the scale of this parent asteroid. So let's go and create a method. Let's create a private void spawn asteroid. Then we're going to create, then it's going to be a variable. I'm going to name it asteroid is equal to instantiate. We're going to need, we can just do a game object, so the clone of this. And then what we're going to do is going to set the size to half of this. So we're going to do asteroid.transform.localScale is equal to vector3.1 times asteroid.transform.localScale.x divided by 2. So now, when we do this, I'm going to call spawn asteroid, and then call spawn asteroid again. So we create two mini clones. And if our transform.localScale is not greater than 1, then we're just going to copy and paste that. So we're going to destroy the bullet and destroy ourselves. And that's going to be it. Because if it's less than 1, then it's really small. So it's not going to break into any more pieces, because this game would get very complicated if we had the asteroids breaking into multiple different pieces. So now if we go back inside of Unity, in this asteroid script, you can see that I should have min size and max size set to something, but since it is since it is just put on a prefab, I'm not able to set it to anything. So I'm going to go to the actual prefab inside of the assets folder, double click on it, and then go to here. I'm going to set the min size to something like 0.7 and the max size to something like 2. Now if I get out, go to the asteroid, make sure that that's there, and then I'm going to click the play button. Now once we're inside of Unity, the Unity play mode, I'm just going to go to the scene, and you can see that there are different sized asteroids coming in here. And you can see when I do this that nothing is going to happen because we don't have the tag set up yet. So I'm going to go to the player, and for the tag I'm going to do player. For the bullet, for the tag, I'm going to add a tag. I'm going to add the bullet tag to our game, save it. Then for the bullet, I'm going to add the bullet tag. Now, when we click the play button and enter play mode, we should be able to shoot our little bullets, and you can see that it is hitting our little asteroids. And if the transform.scale is less than 1, it destroys itself, and if it's greater than 1, then it turns into 2 different pieces. But you can see that they are not moving, which is something we do not want. So we're going to have to set these off just like we do in our asteroid spawn script. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do the same thing we do here. We're just going to add a force. So I'm going to do asteroid.getComponent rigidbody2d dot add force, and then for the force I'm going to do random dot inside unit circle times any force. So I'm just going to set this to be a variable. So up at the top I'm going to do another public float, and I'm going to name this asteroid spawn force. We can probably use the same thing that we have here in the asteroid speed. So inside of here I'm going to do asteroid spawn force. So now these asteroids should be moving. And another thing that is causing this to have some problems is that the asteroids collide with each other. So if we go to the file, or if we go to edit, and then we go to project settings, and then we go to physics and physics 2D, then we can go to the layer collision matrix, and if I go to the asteroid, if I move this over here, go to the asteroid, and add the asteroid layer. If I add the asteroid layer, you can see here that this matrix is a matrix of all layers that are able to collide with each other. So if I uncheck the asteroid layer, so now the asteroids cannot collide with each other. So now I need to do add the asteroid layer to itself. And now if I click inside play mode, the asteroids should be able to go inside of each other so that it becomes much less hectic. And now if I go like that, it won't happen because we need to set the asteroid spawn force. I'm going to set it to something like 10. I'm just going to make sure the asteroid spawner, the asteroid speed is set to 3. So maybe I will set this asteroid spawn force to 5. Now, when we go back inside of play mode, now we can see that if we go into here and shoot a bullet, that it is destroying these asteroids. And you can see that our problem is that the asteroids are not splitting in half. And you can see that because this is being called every single time that we create the new asteroid. So now instead of this being a private void start, I'm going to make it a public void, and I'm going to name it set size. So now in the asteroid spawner, I'm going to do asteroid.getComponent the asteroid script. I'm going to call it set size. So now, when only this will be called when it is spawned from the asteroid spawner, not from when it is spawned inside of the regular asteroid script. So now when I go back inside of play mode and click on the play button, I am able to move around, And then when there is a new asteroid, if I click that, you can see that they turn into two separate asteroids. So you can see that this is now working. And with that, this Dawnlabs tutorial is finished. If you liked this tutorial, please give our channel a like and subscribe because it really helps out a ton. Thank you.